Hello students, good morning. You are welcome in the first lecture of a chapter of ionic equilibrium. In the last year, at your 11th standard level, you have studied a chapter of chemical equilibrium. A chapter of chemical equilibrium you have studied in the last year. And this ionic equilibrium is nothing but the extension. It is extension of chemical equilibrium. In that chemical equilibrium, we have studied that there are certain chemical reactions which are incomplete. Reactants are converted to the product, and products are also reconverted to the reactants. They are incomplete chemical reactions or reversible chemical reactions. Some of the chemical reactions are complete. Reactants are completely converted into product. 100% conversion of reactant take place to the product. But in some reactions, reactants are converted to product, and products in their turn again reconverted into the reactants. So there is the reversible chemical reaction. Both way reaction is possible. Forward reaction take place and backward reaction also take place. See here, the reaction you have studied last year is like this. Calcium carbonate solid, whenever heated, converted to calcium oxide plus CO2 gas, and these two products are obtained by decomposition of calcium carbonate. But these two products in their turn again recombine and they give the original reactant as a product. Rate of conversion of reactant to the product is same as that of the rate of conversion of product to the reactant at one stage, and that stage where a rate of conversion of reactant to the product is exactly same as that of the conversion of product to the reactant is known as a state of equilibrium. That is a state of equilibrium. We have studied that there is a dynamic equilibrium present. Dynamic equilibrium. What is meant by that? Dynamic equilibrium we have studied. In the dynamic equilibrium, reactants are converted to product, products are converted to reactant with the same rate, but concentrations are constant. Concentrations are constant. That is known as a state of dynamic equilibrium. Reaction is not stopped. Even though concentrations are constant, the reaction is not stopped. That is known as a state of dynamic equilibrium. See, I am explaining a state of dynamic equilibrium once again. Suppose we have the reactant 100% at start of the chemical reaction. Only reactant is 100% and these products are 0%. During the course of chemical reaction, what happens? Concentration of reactant decreases and the concentration of product goes on increasing. So let us consider, if this 100 will become 90%, this will be 10%. Again this is decreasing, suppose it is 80%, this will be 20%. So on, it is decreasing like this, 70, this is 30. Now, it is observed that if this 70% become 69, what is this? This will be 30%. For for example we are considering these percentages. For example, just for an example, here there is decrease by 1%, here increase by 1%. Here is the increase by 1% take place from 30 to 31. So at that time, what happens is that out of this 30%, 1% is reconverted to the reactant. So what it becomes again? It becomes 70%. Is it right? 70 reduced to 69. But at that time, this 30 become 31. And out of this 30, 1% is reconverted to the calcium carbonate. So again 69 becomes 70. So what is the concentration percentage at equilibrium? 70 and 30. Because whatever the 1% reactant is converted to product, same 1% product is converted to reactant. Reaction is not stopped. Reaction is continuous. Reaction continuously takes place. Reaction is not stopping, but percentage concentrations are constant. And that state where reactant is converted to product, product is also converted to the reactant. But the concentrations are same. Concentrations of reactant and product are constant. They are not changing, but reaction is continuous. Reaction is not stopping. Reaction is continuous and concentrations are constant. That is known as a state of dynamic equilibrium. In the last year, we have seen the example, domestic example we have explained. Suppose we have two classes, we have two classrooms, neighboring two classrooms. In the classroom number A, in division A, suppose we have 100 students, and in division B, there are again 100 students. So what will happen? Suppose out of these 100 students, 10 students go to division B, 10. With the same speed, 10 students from B are coming to division A. So what is the number of students in division A? 100. What is the number of students in division B? That is also 100. Again, with a continuous movement that take place. Next 10 students go to division B. Here next first 10 students come to division A. So the time comes such that all these 100, all of them, they are shifted to division B, and all these 100 are shifted to division A with the same speed. Is there any change in number of students? No. Number of students remain constant. 100 in division A, 100 in division B. But what about students? At start, these 100 students are present and they are replaced by another 100 students. Here also, these 100 students are replaced by another 100 students, and that state is known as a state of dynamic equilibrium. Here the process is not stopped, but number of students are constant, 100. Number is same, but process is not stopped. The process is continuously taking place. That is known as a state of dynamic equilibrium. All the principles of chemical equilibrium are applicable to the ionic equilibria also. There you have seen Le Chatelier principle. There you have seen law of mass action. There you have calculated the equilibrium constant of a reaction. There you have calculated equilibrium concentrations of reactant and product. All those laws, all those principles are applicable in ionic equilibrium also. So let us see what is ionic equilibrium. This is the chemical equilibrium. Now here we are studying the ionic equilibrium. Let us see what is difference between chemical equilibrium and ionic equilibrium. In chemical equilibrium, this is a chemical. These are also full molar formula, molecular formula of chemicals. But suppose we have the reaction like this. Suppose we have CH3COOH. What is the name of this compound? Acetic acid. Whenever it is added to water, some part of it give ions. Which are the ions obtained? Acetate ion and H plus ion. Now there is equilibrium between ions of this electrolyte and unionized part of this electrolyte. The equilibrium present between ions and unionized part of electrolyte is known as ionic equilibrium. In the chemical equilibrium, these are present in the original molecular formula of the chemicals. In ionic equilibrium, ions are obtained from the original molecular formula of a chemical after undergoing dissociation, after undergoing ionization, and there is a state of dynamic equilibrium, state of dynamic equilibrium obtained between ions and its unionized part is known as a state of ionic equilibrium. That is a state of ionic equilibrium. And all principles of chemical equilibrium, like this type of reaction, is present for this type of reaction also. At start, concentration of reactant is 100% and the concentration of these ions is 0%. 100% concentration, 0% concentration. During the course of chemical reaction, concentration of reactant goes on decreasing and the concentration of products goes on increasing. And a time comes such that the conversion of reactant to product take place with the same speed as that of the conversion of product to the reactant. And that is known as a state of dynamic equilibrium. For this also, we can calculate the equilibrium constant. See here, what is the word I have used? We can calculate the equilibrium constant. But since ions are present in equilibrium constant, we can take it as a dissociation constant. We can consider that as a dissociation constant. See over here. For this reaction, what is the equilibrium constant K? Equilibrium constant K is nothing but concentration of product divided by concentration of reactant raised to an appropriate power equal to the number of moles of product or number of moles of reactant. So the ratio of concentration of CaO into concentration of CO2 divided by concentration of CaCO3. This is known as equilibrium constant at an equilibrium, at the state of equilibrium. If we see this chemical reaction, there are ions present. Therefore, this This equilibrium constant is also known as a dissociation constant because ions are present, so it is a dissociation constant. And in this manner, in the same manner as that of equilibrium constant, we can calculate the dissociation constant. For this reaction, it is the concentration of acetate ion into concentration of H plus ion divided by concentration of acetic acid. From this reaction, that ratio is obtained known as a dissociation constant or ionization constant because ions are present after the dissociation of this type of substance. So, is this 100% reaction? Is this complete reaction or incomplete reaction? Incomplete reaction. Because reactants 100% reduced only up to 70%. What is meant by complete reaction? In the complete reaction, 100 should become 0 and this 0 should become 100%. But is it possible in this reaction? No. Therefore, this is not a complete chemical reaction. It is the incomplete chemical reaction. Incomplete chemical reaction. Partial chemical reaction. In the similar manner, this reaction is also a partial chemical reaction because reactant, whenever added to the water, undergoing incomplete partial dissociation and producing the ions. There is no complete dissociation take place. 100% dissociation is absent. And these ions in their turn again recombine with each other and they are converted into the original reactant. So it is incomplete chemical reaction. Reversible chemical reaction. Reversible. Forward reaction is possible. Forward. What is meant by forward? Reactant is converted to product is a forward reaction. Similarly, backward reaction also take place. What is meant by backward reaction? Products recombine themselves and they are converted to the reactant. So forward as well as backward reaction is present, known as a reversible chemical reaction. It is incomplete chemical reaction. It is partial chemical reaction. And for that reaction, the equilibrium is present in between ions and unionized part of this substance. Unionized part of original chemical is known as ionic equilibrium. So you got it. What is meant by ionic equilibrium? The equilibrium existing between ions of electrolyte and unionized part of the electrolyte is known as ionic equilibrium. That is a state of ionic equilibrium. And in order to study the ionic equilibrium, two types of substances are studied. They are known as types of electrolytes. See, we have studied the substance gives ion incompletely whenever added to the water, and on the basis of how much percentage it is undergoing dissociation, there are two type of the substances, two type of these electrolytes. See, basically substance is divided into two categories, electrolyte and non-electrolyte. See first, what is meant by electrolyte and what is meant by non-electrolyte. Electrolyte is the substance which whenever added to the water undergo dissociation. It is producing ions, is known as electrolyte. For example, acids added to water undergo dissociation producing ions are electrolytes. Bases, see, acids, then bases, whenever added to water they also undergo dissociation producing the ions. They are also known as electrolytes. Salts, they are added to the water, they also undergo dissociation, they also produces the ions. They are known as electrolytes. So any substance which whenever added to the water undergoing dissociation producing ions is known as electrolyte. Now what is meant by non-electrolyte? The substance like sugar, cane sugar, sucrose, glucose, fructose, or maybe urea, then naphthalene, etc. Whenever these substances are added to water, just they get dissolved. They may be dissolved. Sugar dissolved in water, urea dissolved in water, naphthalene will not dissolve. These substances are added to water, they may dissolve, but they will not lose their identity. They are present in the original molecular formula. Here ions are obtained, but here no ions are obtained. Why ions are not obtained? Because these substances will not undergo ionization. These substances will not undergo dissociation whenever added to the water. Therefore, these are known as non-electrolytes. You got the difference between electrolyte and non-electrolyte? Electrolyte is a substance which whenever added to the water undergoing dissociation producing the ions. Non-electrolyte is a substance which whenever added to the water may or may not dissolve in water, but it will not lose its identity. It will not form the ions. It is present in the original molecular formula, are known as non-electrolytes. Further, there are two types of electrolytes. They are known as strong electrolytes and weak electrolytes. See, what is meant by strong electrolyte? The substances which whenever added to the water in that aqueous medium, they will undergo 100% dissociation. They will undergo complete dissociation. Complete 100% dissociation. They are known as strong electrolytes. For example, strong acids like HCl, then H2SO4, then HNO3, etc. These are the strong acids. They are known as strong electrolytes because if they are added to water, they undergo complete dissociation. 100% dissociation. 100% dissociation is present. For example, if we take HCl added in the water in aqueous medium giving H plus and Cl minus ions. At start this is So what is the percentage dissociation? 100%. 100. Complete dissociation takes place. As this is a complete dissociation, is it reversible or irreversible reaction? Irreversible. This is the reaction taking place in only one direction. Only forward reaction is possible, but backward reaction is not possible. Only forward reaction take place. Means irreversible reaction take place. Complete dissociation take place are known as strong electrolytes. All strong acids are nothing but strong electrolytes. Then strong bases like NaOH or LiOH, lithium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide, etc. These are also strong electrolytes because whenever they are added to water, they also undergo complete dissociation. And salts like sodium chloride, sodium sulfate, Na2SO4, potassium chloride, maybe potassium sulfate or even potassium nitrate, etc. Many more salts are there which whenever added to water, they undergo complete dissociation and they are also known as strong electrolytes. The substances which undergo complete dissociation producing 100% ions are known as strong electrolytes. The examples are strong acids, strong bases, and salts are nothing but the strong electrolytes. So what is weak electrolyte? Second type. It is the weak electrolyte. We have seen the example of acetic acid just now. I have explained in introduction. Acetic acid is not undergoing complete dissociation. That undergo incomplete dissociation, reversible dissociation, partial dissociation, and that is known as weak electrolyte. It is the weak electrolyte and that is known as weak acid. So all weak acids, then weak bases are nothing but weak electrolytes because whenever they are added to water, they undergo incomplete dissociation. They produces less number of ions, but strong electrolyte produces more number of ions. They are producing 100% ions. They are strong electrolytes. And weak electrolytes are the substances which will undergo incomplete dissociation, partial dissociation, and they are producing less number of ions after their dissociation are known as weak electrolytes. So how much dissociation takes place can be studied with the help of degree of dissociation. We have studied strong electrolyte undergo complete dissociation, weak electrolytes undergo incomplete dissociation, and depending on how much percent dissociation is there, that can also be calculated. That is known as degree of dissociation. Indicated by symbol alpha. Symbol alpha. Degree of dissociation is a fraction of total moles of an electrolyte which have undergone dissociation. Fraction of total moles of an electrolyte which have undergone dissociation is known as degree of dissociation. See here, suppose we have acetic acid. We know it is weak electrolyte undergoing reversible dissociation incomplete dissociation or partial dissociation producing these ions. Suppose we have 10 moles of acetic acid are present, 10 moles at start. So at start this is 0, this is also 0. Now let us consider, we know the reaction, moles of reactant decreases and moles of product increases. Suppose if this become 9, this will be 1, this will be also 1. If this is 8, this is 2, this is also 2. And at this stage, suppose a state of equilibrium is maintained, where conversion of reactant to product take place with the same speed as that of the conversion of product to the reactant. So, how many moles are dissociated over here? 2 moles are dissociated, divided by how many moles? Initially taken 10 moles. So 2 upon 10 is known as degree of dissociation 0.2. If 3 moles are dissociated at equilibrium, 3 upon 10 it is 0.3. If 9 moles are dissociated, 9 upon 10 0.9. Can it be 10 moles undergoing dissociation out of 10? Never. At that time it will be strong electrolyte, and we know that this is the weak electrolyte, where incomplete dissociation takes place. So is this answer alpha will be equal to 10 upon 10 is equal to 1? No, never it is possible. It is not possible because this is weak electrolyte. Answer 1 is not possible. Always it is less than 1, and less than 1 is known as a fraction. It is a fraction. Therefore, degree of dissociation alpha is defined as fraction of total moles which have undergone dissociation, and mathematically it is the ratio of number of moles dissociated. It is the ratio of number of moles dissociated divided by total moles of an electrolyte initially taken. Initial moles. Total mole means initial moles. Here we are taking 10 because 10 we have considered. That ratio is known as degree of dissociation. Now, this degree of dissociation we know it is a fraction. If this is multiplied by 100, suppose it is 1 multiplied by 100, means how many percentage it is taking place? 100% dissociated. This is multiplied by 100, so it will be 20%. Multiplied by 100, 30%. Here 100, 90%. So if alpha, this alpha is multiplied by 100, it is known as percent alpha. Percent degree of dissociation is nothing but a degree of dissociation multiplied by 100. Here that degree of dissociation is a fraction of total moles of an electrolyte which have undergone dissociation at equilibrium. Now, what is the use of that degree of dissociation? In order to calculate the dissociation constant and all those facts that we will see in the next lecture.